So they'll utilize a little platoon system. We'll talk about that. But Kendall Wells, the hard-hitting freshman catcher, 25 home runs this season, Michelle.
Well, just a home run away from setting a SEC all-time record, not to mention freshman records. She just has so much power to all fields. A lot of fun to watch. And, oh, by the way, she's very good behind the dish in that catching position.
Absolutely lights out. And in the circle for the home team, Jaden Heebner, the sophomore out of Pace, Florida.
Jaden Heebner, the lefty's got some good spin. Need to really limit those walks this afternoon against the Sooners. She's effectively wild, and when she is on, she's one of the toughest to square up. Take a look at her scout. She's going to be in the high 60s. It's a rise curve with some changeup, but again, it's that movement through the zone. And when she is on, she is hard to hit.
First pitch, we are underway out in front, and 0-1 the count to Cassidy Pickering. 0 for 5 last night in that Game 1 comeback victory. The 11th comeback win by the Sooners this season. Macy Bergeron behind home plate, making her 100th start behind the dish. 0-2.
Well, the other thing that Trina really likes about Heebner and Bergeron's battery is that being the lefty with a very heavy lefty lineup for Oklahoma. 6 of the 9 left-handed for the Sooners.
Swatted foul. Pickering, the junior out of Humboldt, Texas, first team All-SEC a season ago. Started 64 games, and Michelle, you know I love to talk about the wind. We couldn't dial up the weather any better today, but that wind is shifting towards right field if you're a left-handed hitter. Boy, the threat is real on a day like today to leave the ballpark.
And that's where I think you're going to see a lot of low in the zone, a lot of curveball. We've already seen that so far to Pickering. And the rise ball, the last pitch that just went to the screen, well, if you're going to throw it upstairs, make sure it's really, really upstairs.
Want to mess around with this OU order. And a strikeout to start. Heebner gets it done.
And that's the spin that Jaden Heebner has so good. She'll throw a little bit of a backdoor curve, so you can see she's going to start it at the front hip of Cassidy Pickering, and she's going to get that late sharp movement back into the zone. She gets the swing and miss on Pickering for the big strikeout.
Here's Kendall Wells, the catcher. Robust 400 batting average and 25 home runs. Good start for Heebner thus far. Bogart, Georgia, 5-10, and the numbers tell the entire story for Wells. North Oconee High School.
It's interesting already that LSU really playing the pull power. Take a look at this. This is the center fielder. This whole gap is open. And that
you saw the gap there.
Yeah.
There's a ton of real estate between right fielder Alex Franklin and the center fielder Jayla Lassiter, playing Wells to pull.
Well, she does have a lot of that home run power. She'll go also to right center, but a lot of that power is to center field toward left. She'll get around those pitches on the outer half.
Wells pops it up straight behind us, and I mean right behind home plate. Full count. Now Kendall at North Oconee High School helped lead the softball and basketball programs during her time there. I'd love to see the multi-sport standouts that take it right on through the prep ranks, and she averaged a double-double on the hardwood. You got to appreciate that.
Yes.
Points and rebounds and getting it done in the softball realm. The temperature is expected to reach the mid-70s today. That wind that we showed you gusting out, get around 20 miles an hour. Michelle and I were here 2 weeks ago, and it was a bit gustier than that. Texas A&M series. Fly ball and a pop-up. It's going to stay just on the inner edges of the outfield grass. Kylie Edwards is there for out number 2.
Huebner doing a good job of really locating her pitches on the corner so far, not leaving anything over the white part of the plate, challenging these Sooners.
Hitting third today, Ella Parker. Starting in right field at 462 for the junior out of LA. Our Uncle Dave Roberts, of course, the manager of the world champion Dodgers, off the leg on the first pitch. OU has its first base runner. 16th time this season that Huebner.
Well, this is the one area that Huebner at times can struggle with. Again, that backdoor curveball, trying to ride it on the inner half. It just doesn't have that late movement back into the zone. But as you mentioned, it's the free passes, it's the walks, it's the hit batters that have been a little bit of the bugaboo for Huebner. 43 walks on the season and the 16th hit batter.
Gabby Garcia, runner at first, and Parker. And the pitch settles in low for ball 1. Garcia, with those 15 long balls, leads the country in terms of homers hit by a shortstop. Garcia trots out and now back in with a 2-0 count. 1 for 4 last night. Did score a run in OU's comeback win. New starting third baseman today, and Allie Hutchins at the hot corner for LSU.
Take a look, the shift still on completely. You could see center field is way over this way, just this huge open gap area. And you could also see that Franklin, the right fielder, well off the line, even with Garcia, the lefty, up.
You could also see your circles on the screen that time. That looked great. With 2 outs, OU now with runners at first and second. Garcia aboard via the free pass.
A couple of quick outs, a couple of free passes. And this is where this Oklahoma team can hurt you. They typically take advantage of those free passes getting on base. This is one of the best teams in the country. In fact, the best team in the country at 179 walks coming into today's game.
Lexi McDaniel making her 14th start of the season. A first pitch strike from Huebner. 475 on the year. You just look at the batting averages for this roster, and everybody, it feels like, is hitting well above 400. The team average, as Michelle talked about in our open, 437. Nothing in 2.
A couple of nice pitches coming back. Huebner after a 4-pitch walk to Garcia. Choosing to go after the freshman instead of Garcia. Ahead here needs to make sure they have a good pitch out of the zone.
Big moment, you feel like, early to topple Oklahoma and the run that it's on, the second longest winning streak in the country after UCLA lost last night. You got to start fast and start ahead. Served over to first, and there to make the grab is Tori Edwards. Sooners strand a pair. Home half the first inning coming up. LSU set to bat. Tigers coming up to bat for the first time, a scoreless game. Home half of the first. Jayla Lassiter will lead things off with Daniel and Edwards to follow. And Jayla, monster home run yesterday in the bottom of the third inning that gave the Tigers an early 1-0 advantage.
Yeah, so consistent. It was 3 for 3. They shuffled things around a little bit to try to shut her down, and it actually was Parker who came in to pitch against her.
And Alyssa Parker, the freshman, right-hander in the circle today for head coach Patty Gasso, and you see her numbers.
Yeah, she's done a great job this year, limiting free passes, just 14 walks on the year, 21 strikeouts. She's a little bit more pitch to contact, very heavy at the lower half of the zone, so she induces a lot of ground outs. One of the other things she does a good job of is keeping the ball in the park. But again, really good velocity for the freshman and an outstanding changeup. She's going to use that a lot today against this LSU team.
First pitch out of the zone to Lassiter. 3 hits last night in that 3-2 extra inning loss to the Sooners. A senior out of Atmore, Alabama. Began her career at Ole Miss. Monster Series up in Knoxville about 3 weeks back. Three straight out of the zone. It's 68 upstairs. Sooners in those crimson and cream uniforms today. And called strike one on the inside edge. Lassiter thought it was a bit too far inside. Instead, home plate umpire Vince Price indicating otherwise. In the dirt in that one for ball 4. And the Tigers leadoff runner aboard.
Lassiter just so good in that leadoff position.
Tigers got off to a great start last night, Michelle. Scoreless until the bottom of the third, and that Lassiter home run, it stayed that way until late. And it kind of goes without saying, it's softball, not rocket science. You got to get off to a good start, try to end the 22-game winning streak in Oklahoma and the dynastic run the Sooners have been on. And now Lassiter standing at first with Parker in the circle and trying to find the zone here. That will inspire conversation.
Associate head coach Jen Rocha, who is back with the team. She had some health issues earlier in the year, but first game back was last night. And so many people excited to see her back and healthy, and it's such a blessing. I know that Patty Gasso has, talked about it, not having her friend and not just her pitching coach.
Freshman to come in right away and feel completely acclimated to the sport, but something along those lines, and you feel like that we're seeing more of that than ever before.
Yeah, we're seeing better training, basically in the high school, the teen ages, the travel ball teams have the same analytics, the same numbers, ability to watch video. It just puts a lot of these athletes ahead at a younger age.
There's 49 home runs by the 4 OU freshmen. If you compare that to total number of home runs hit by teams in softball this year, they would rank in the top 20 nationally just with the first-year players. Now 3-1.
Well, to put it in perspective, those 49 home runs as a freshman, as you said, the entire team for LSU has 27. So this is an LSU team that doesn't really use the long ball a lot. They're more station to station. They have some good speed, but it puts it into perspective.
Upstairs for ball 4. Back-to-back walks issued by Parker. And the Tigers in business to start the first inning here.
Freshman Parker trying to find that zone. It could be tough. It's a big start. Thousands of fans here. It's an SEC massive matchup. This is also a lineup for LSU. We should say they're number 3 in the country at drawing walks. They drew 6 last night, 165 coming into today's game.
Change up on the outer edge for strike 1.
It's the pitch that Parker has a lot of confidence in.
Michelle just kind of floats out there on that outside corner.
It's a flip change and a lot of confidence in it to go back-to-back to one of the biggest and best hitters in the game of softball. Tori Edwards, a lot of records herself as a freshman.
I saw her numbers on the season. A little bit different than the year before. Hit softly to short over to first. He'll get out number one. Garcia on the move with a nice play. That will advance the runners. And so Lassiter at second. Lassiter at third. Daniel now at second base.
Productive out by Tori Edwards after a couple of changeups. Gets jammed up, but Garcia with a good play, but definitely one of the things that LSU needs to do. Productive out, so important against the Sooners.
Here's Alex Franklin. Brings a lot of energy to the ballpark each and every day, out in right field and here at the plate.
Defense now for Oklahoma pulled well in. This is a very good defensive team for Oklahoma. We talk about their hitting, but one of the best defensive teams as well in the country.
Change up serve to center field. On the run is Minor. She'll retrieve it, but deep enough for the sac fly. And LSU out in front as Lassiter scores.
This is important for LSU. Last night getting on the board first. This afternoon, a big run here in the bottom of the first inning, taking advantage of a couple of walks early in this game. It's a changeup, and Franklin just pounds this out to the center field, right field area. And Minor, the good freshman in center field, understands getting underneath this ball. No opportunity to catch the speedy Lassiter at third.
Kylie Edwards swinging a hot bat before last night's 0 for 4. 16 pitches in, LSU with a 1-0 advantage. We saw this early last night as well. Healthy cut. Evens the count. Indiana native, 3 home runs, 13 driven in. 294 runners on base this year. Two years in Starkville. Now here in Baton Rouge. Got Daniel over at third base. A couple of walks, and LSU manufacturing a run without a single hit in this frame. There's a second RBI this weekend for Alex Franklin on the sac fly. Over to second. And in time to retire the side. Bayani gets it done, but LSU with a 1-0 advantage, 1 inning in. Oklahoma Sooners in the midst of a 22-game winning streak. Michelle Smith, Roy Philpott, and the Sooners, that explosive offense held in check thus far. Just 3 runs scored now. First 9 innings of this 3-game series. Tomorrow, game 3 over on ESPN at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. local. Huebner in the circle, and Akai Minor settles in low for ball 1. Freshman out of Irvine, California. Supremely talented athlete. We saw her make a nice play already in center field, and that is really just the tip of the iceberg.
Super athletic, fast.
SEC Freshman of the Week, mid-February. Hit over 456 for a career in high school.
Not too bad. She's hitting 500 here. I mean, so what jump from high school to college?
It feels like half the OU batting order today. You just look at the numbers: 464, 400, 462, 443.
How about a 437 team? That's everybody, team batting average. It's just incredible. JT Gasso has done such a good job the last 5-6 years with this offense.
I think they're getting more creative with how they're utilizing the players at the plate too, which we can talk about. 3-1 by Huebner settles in.
A couple of backdoor curveballs where Huebner has taken advantage of that lefty-lefty matchup. There's a good look at JT Gasso talking with his hitters. Stays in the dugout.
Sunglasses, Michelle. He gets his sunglasses down there. Full count and a called strike 3. Second strikeout. Jaden Huebner.
Oh, that is just pretty on the inner half. How about 69 miles an hour? Really good spin speed, rated over 1,300 RPM. And look at the way she's going to throw this at the front hip. So it looks like a ball. Miner thinks it's a ball. She holds, and it curves back into the back half of the plate. That's why we call that a backdoor curveball, because it curves into that back half. Outstanding pitch by Huebner.
Bayani digs in, and Huebner, who defines failure as growth opportunities, and something I certainly have loved in getting to know a little bit more about her story. And on full display today in this massive 3-game series. Bayani, foul territory. Who wants it? Hutchins does, getting the start at third base for out number 2. Allie Hutchins to start at the hot corner, her 21st of the season. And that brings us to Alyssa Parker. '24 Oklahoma Gatorade Player of the Year. Inside for ball 1.
Parker, one of those two-way athletes, great in the circle, really good bat, can play all over.
How hard is that to do at a high level?
It's a lot of work. It's a very busy practice. Making sure you're getting your reps, your swings in, your defensive sets in, and then obviously your bullpens for pitching.
1-1 from Huebner. Just missed.
You know, you have a lot of great athletes nowadays, a lot of pitchers, they want to hit. They want to come to programs and say, hey, give me the opportunity to have the ball on both sides of the plate. Huebner being very careful with that rise ball upstairs, making sure that is definitely elevated against this very strong home run hitting team for Oklahoma. But I like the way that Huebner, when she does go upstairs, she's got good movement, good location out of the zone.
It's the power of the OU lineup, and also the wind that continues to gust out towards right center field at 20 miles an hour this morning.
You can throw to the strength of a hitter or of a team. You just have to go there when you're ahead or for a ball.
Ball 4, and Parker with a good take. Draws the second walk. Jaden Huebner today. And we saw you start to attempt to do some damage. The same situation. Top of the first inning. Quick 2 outs, then a hit by pitch. Free pass. And Huebner was able to escape. Problem is Abby Dayton is swinging a very warm bat, shall we say.
She was outstanding last night. 3 for 3 in that 9-hole. Had the game-winning RBI in the 8th.
3 for 3, hitting .500 for Patty Gasso.
Well, Coach Gasso has talked about how much she loves Dayton in that 9-hole, turning it over. She's like another leadoff hitter for the power of Pickering and Wells in those 1 and 2 holes.
Transfer from Utah. Outside, Abby says her dream job is to be a lawyer. Double major in psych and history. There's a lot going on there away from the sport. There's somebody you want on your side, perhaps in the courtroom one day. Runner goes, throw to second, and pinpoint precision. Out number 3. Parker, with just 1 stolen base this year, gunned down at second by Bergeron in her 100th start behind home plate.
Bergeron showing why she's one of the best catchers behind the dish. Nice throw down. Edwards with the pick gets Parker out. LSU picking up the bats with a 1-0 lead.
I'm here down to the Bayou. We've got the second of 3 games in this series. First time, interestingly enough, that LSU and OU have faced off in the regular season as Southeastern Conference foes this weekend, starting back last night with game 1 as Char Lorenz digs in. The OU numbers, we've talked about the power, the win streak at now 22. 11 come from behind victories this season. Now 11-1 on the road this year. And to go back and find Oklahoma's last loss, you go back to early February. Ironically, that setback occurred against Patty Gasso's alma mater, Long Beach State.
6-4 loss to Long Beach State. They lost the second game of the season to Arizona.
Over to short, and a nifty play by Garcia. Texas starts a big 3-game series against Alabama next weekend in a top 10 showdown. Friday night's game is on SEC Network. Coverage starts 8:30 Eastern at Rhodes Stadium in T-Town. Rhodes House will be rocking. Michelle, I believe you will be there for that.
I will be there. It's going to be a great one. Texas and Texas A&M playing this weekend. SEC is, it's like a super regional weekend every weekend.
Spicy.
Spicy. Love it.
AC Bergeron, the senior catcher, now has thrown out 5 of 12 attempting base stealers with that last toss to end Oklahoma's threat moments ago. It's an interesting point that you made during the break too, and why he elected to try to steal the base with Parker starting in the circle today on base.
Opportunity for Dayton to come back up in that 9-hole, possibly turn it over. Ford, Pickering, and Wells in the 1 and 2 hole. So a lot of options. Patty Gasso has a ton of options to be able to use whoever she wants and play things around for people at different times, different situations.
A little bit of shade in the outfield with the sun beating down. The temperature's in the mid-70s, so it feels great. And Abby Dayton highlighted by the shadows there of that massive light pole. Play Bergeron straight away, inside, check it low for a full count. 0 for 3 last night, did draw a walk. And a change up to right field. Parker retreated, then a couple of steps ahead for out number 2. A lunchtime, maybe an Uncrustable, perhaps just the good old-fashioned PB&J. Are you more Uncrustable or the straight sandwich?
I like it all. So
no, it doesn't matter.
Give me the crust. Give me all of it. Eat a lot of PB&J's pre-broadcast. It's a really good broadcast sandwich.
Good protein there.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm more of just straight caffeine. Is that bad? It could be a Diet Mountain Dew. It could be like this new mushroom coffee that is wildly popular for whatever reason right now. Here's Destiny Harris. Get the start at 3:57.
LSU doing a good job of really staying on Parker's changeup. She's using it a lot early in this game. It's a big part of her ability to throw through the zone, and one of her best located pitches right now, because her hard stuff has been down. It's been out of the zone. She's been working from behind, and all these pitchers work so much better and are so much more successful when they work from ahead.
And now the 3-0 from Parker, heart of the plate. Harris currently with LSU's longest hit streak on the roster with 4 straight, was 1 for 4 last night. On the inner edge. Full count with 2 away.
Yeah, and she's been able to fight back from that 3-0 count. But take a look at when she's working ahead, opponent's batting average just 100. When she is working from behind, opponent's batting average almost 400, a 391 clip. And so you hear us talk a lot about being able to pitch from ahead so you can throw your pitches. That right there is a perfect example of why it is so important to hammer that strike zone early and often when you can.
I mean, to essentially go from hitting 400 to just 100.
100%. Yep.
I mean, that's the game right there if you think about it.
Yes, absolutely. And those are the things you learn as a young pitcher. You're trying to figure things out. You're, playing with nerves a little bit. There's a lot that goes into being in that circle, trust me.
Can't even imagine. First pitch strike to Allie Hutchins, junior out of Paducah, Kentucky. And in terms of what we've seen so far, first pitch strikes, Parker has done that in 4 of the first 9 hitters that she's seen. 45%
on her overall strike percentage, as you mentioned, 45%. Really, you want that to be up near 66%, about 2/3 strikes to 1/3 balls on your overall pitch count.
Runner goes, throw to second. And not in time, and the stolen base for Destiny Harris, her 5th of the season.
This is a LSU team that has very good speed. That's their 49th stolen base of the year. Almost a slow developing play. I don't know if Wells wasn't expecting her to take off, but that foot coming up, Harris lucky that she wasn't tagged as that foot came up high over the bag, but gets in there safely.
Oh, Kendall Wells, the freshman catcher, has done a nice job offensively. Has thrown out 3 of 6 potential base stealers. And they're calling the 3rd and final out with home plate umpire Vince Price here. LSU's running the bases.
There's some confusion on what actually transpired.
There's Ronald Burkhart walking through the circle. That Torino wants to know what's happening. We'll clear this up. It's a 2-strike count, and let's see what happens.
Well, the umpire, it looks like he calls it a strike on the outer half. The ball did hit the ground, but Wells came up and made the tag. I'm not sure what. So they call it strike 3, a pitch on the outer half. It's dropped, so Wells picks it up, tags her, and then tosses it. Should be the 3rd out of the inning. And the pitch did look like it was out of the zone. Still called a strike.
The ruling on the field is we have a strike 3 called, and when the ball came out of the catcher's glove, she tagged the batter runner for the 3rd out of the inning.
Ronald Burkhart explaining what we thought actually occurred. 2 innings in the books, 1-0 LSU. So Beth Torino wants a more detailed explanation from Vince Price, the home plate umpire. Top of the 3rd inning, OU coming back up to bat, and it was called strike number 3, indicating the first strikeout for Alyssa Parker. Michelle?
Well, and I think that the question and what a lot of people are looking at here is it's obviously a very generous strike call, but Wells does a good job of making sure she picks it up. She hears strike 3, she picks it up, puts it in her glove, makes the tag, so it's no longer the drop 3rd strike. She applies the tag for the out. I think the issue is it looked like the pitch was in the river, almost in the left-handed batter's box, but yet still called strike 3.
Sun beaming down, top of the 3rd inning, in a 1-0 pitcher's duel, similar to what we experienced last night in Game 1. And the Sooners ringing 9-1-2 up to bat to start. It was Abby Dayton that was hitting when Alyssa Parker was tagged out trying to steal second to close the top of the 2nd inning. And Dayton hitting .500. One of the top hitters for Patty Gasso. And you mentioned Coach loves to have kind of those 2 leadoff hitters. One, of course, batting actual leadoff, and the other hitting ninth, to where it's back-to-back and a lot to deal with. That's exactly what Dayton provides to help set the table for this explosive Oklahoma offense. Mentioned a transfer from Utah. Dayton, preseason All-SEC a year ago. Women's College World Series appearances with the Utes and also in Norman. And the game-winning RBI last night with a sac fly in the 8th.
Yeah, just so much leadership out of that 9-hole. I mean, think about the luxury of having a 500 hitter with 6 stolen bases in the 9-hole. I mean, just incredible. That's just the plethora of riches that this OU team has offensively.
If you're outside of Norman, you would deem it to be unfair.
Exactly. Just shows the talent, the depth of this program, and the way that, you know, Patty Gasso and company are able to use this offense.
I mean, 1 strikeout in 90 plate appearances?
Yeah.
And on top of the numbers that you just gave us, nearly 2 in Dayton. Steps out for a moment. That was close.
Heavner wanted that. So did Bajaran behind the dish. That's a nice curveball in the outer half. Doesn't get the call.
And Michelle, that's the classic announcer's jinx there, too. I make a living at breaking up streaks and runs. I'm unsure of how that didn't go down right there, but it did not.
Well, especially after the last call, I'm sure every LSU Tiger fan out there is like, wait a second, you're going to punch us out on a pitch that's almost in the left-handed batter's box, and then you get something tight, nice on the outer half to a lefty, and we don't get the call. I think that's what at times drives fans a little bit crazy.
The game without a hit, but a 1-0 lead for LSU. I was a little surprised 3-2 last night. That led us to believe that maybe today, with that wind gusting, that we would get more along the lines of 12-10.
Well, I think one thing last night's game teaches you, and every SEC team and game tells you, is that it's tough. 1 through 15 in this league is very, very difficult, and anyone can beat anyone on any given day.
Fly ball right field. Wind aided, but not able to leave the ballpark as Franklin hauls it in. About 2 steps shy of the warning track for out number 1.
It was a good example of that wind. Did push that out. Looked like it was going to be a middle of right field type of fly ball, but it pushed Franklin back toward the track. So if you get something elevated, it's definitely going to leave the park today. We saw a couple of big long hits last night that were held within the park. This is one of the toughest parks to get it out of in the SEC conference. The easiest park to get it out of is Arkansas.
I'll be there next weekend.
Highest elevation, ball flies out of the park. Not so much here, and also Gainesville.
I like that scouting report on all the ballparks. We need to make that a full-screen graphic for tomorrow. Michelle's scouting report from Fayetteville to Gainesville in the SEC. Cassidy Pickering 0 for 6 to start this series. Not something we've seen really at all this year from her at the top of the order. Popped up, left side. Kylie Edwards battling the sunshine. Second out. Well, Pickering had a team-leading 13-game hitting streak in last night, along with 32 in a row, reaching safely. 0 for 2 start today here in Baton Rouge. Back to Kendall Wells, freshman catcher. No, those numbers are not a misprint. Over to short, and Edwards. 1 pitch for out number 3 for Jaden Heavner. What a start in the circle today for the Tigers. And LSU a 1-0 lead coming up to the bottom of the 3rd. Big time in Baton Rouge. We've yet to cross over into the afternoon. This 11 a.m. start. Little brunch, little softball on a Saturday. Can't beat it.
No, can't beat it at all. A little coffee, a little juice.
See, I'm more of the Diet Mountain Dew, like hardcore caffeine in the morning kind of guy. But I am switching a little bit more now to coffee. My mom still drinks coffee. She'll have her 2 cups a day.
Yep. I'm a coffee person.
All right, so it just
no soda.
The hot coffee or like the cold iced coffee?
Both. That was learned that in Japan. I've been drinking iced coffee for 30 years.
To me, I like the cold sensation rather than the warm liquid.
Yeah.
That's just me.
especially on a warm day.
Right.
A little oat milk. I'm kind of switching more to oat milk over cream.
Is that better for you?
I hope so. I'm drinking it that way.
You don't know that it is, but we trust that it is, maybe. We've read that somewhere.
Less caloric, maybe.
Okay. What if Jayla Lassiter drinks coffee? Maybe not.
She's got juice either way.
Yes, well said. Inside out swing that is sent foul. I feel like the athletes today are just so health conscious in what they put in their bodies in terms of food and drink, and everything I feel like is regimented.
Yeah. Well, there's more opportunity to eat better. It's not just fast food when you're on the road. Trust me, I ate a lot of fast food when I was on the road when I was their age.
Fly ball left center. It's against the wind, and Minor able to make the play.
I think now there's training tables. A lot of these universities, have nutritionists for the team, so you're eating fresh, a lot of raw, fresh vegetables, fruits.
We got the invitation during basketball season. We had a couple of meals with some of the teams. I think most recently at Texas. Those meals were incredible. And not M&Ms or Doritos. No, those, maybe an ice cold refreshment isn't a bad thing on a Saturday. Support that. But those were some of the best meals I've had in the last year. I don't know if that says something about my lack of quality choosing a restaurant or indulging too much in fast food. Sarah Daniel drew a first inning walk. Tap softly, awkward hop. Parker corrals the second out.
Oh, great job by Parker to pop out of the circle, because if this gets past her and goes to Agbayani at second, there's no way you're going to get the speed of Daniel. So good job to pop off and get this. Little bit of a bobble, but she stays with it. The face mask comes off, but it doesn't distract her. Look at the way she's going to stay with it. And then a really good job of flipping that backhanded over to first base. Kept that thumb down on the toss so it doesn't float. Very athletic play for Parker.
What goes through your mind in the circle when the bobble happens?
Don't panic. Don't panic.
But that makes you want to panic.
Yeah, it does. Just take a deep breath, get the ball, make the throw.
It's like, don't think about a purple elephant. What's the first thing that you do? Don't panic. I'm panicking right now. I'm just calling a softball game here. Ball and a strike to Tori Edwards. Flower Mound, Texas, all SEC first team last year. Just a campaign for the ages, All-American season. Laboring at the plate a little bit compared to a season ago. A lot of games left, and I think everybody here in Baton Rouge just waiting maybe for that turnaround moment, that one at bat, that game-winning hit, whatever it could be, Michelle. You feel like that at times it's been close this season.
She's the bat in the lineup that you circle, saying, don't let this bat beat us.
And that doesn't help her cause, does
No,
it?
absolutely not. And I think she's gotten a little backwards at times, watching pitches that are in the zone and swinging at pitches that are out of the zone. It's just, fortunately, part of the game. I mean, trying to turn things around, get yourself mentally in a good spot to swing at good pitches. Because when she barrels up a ball, trust me, it goes a long, long way.
And we saw that 2 weeks ago against Texas A&M. Sent a charge into a ball that went left center field. Left in a hurry. Talk to Hall of Fame head coach Patty Gasso. Coming up after this break, her team down 1-0. But coming up to bat in the top of the fourth inning, year 32 for Coach Gasso. She'll join us next. Baton Rouge, 1-0 our score. Michelle Smith, Roy Philpott, joined by the Hall of Fame head coach of the Sooners, year 32, Patty Gasso. Coach, we were talking during the break. I said, man, the weather's beautiful. The sun feels great. You said, yeah, if you're winning. You're not winning right now. What needs to change in this game here in game 2?
Offensively, we're just much more aggressive. We're too passive right now. It's tough to hit her, but we need to be a little more aggressive in our style.
And, Coach, congratulations on win number 1,600 last night. They made you work hard, 8 innings for it. But tell me a little bit about your freshman pitcher in the circle, Parker. I mean, hasn't given up a hit yet. A little bit of control issues, but what makes her so great?
She's just a competitor, and I can feel a little bit of nerves, which is rightfully so, but she can do everything. She can pitch, she can hit, she can play great defense. It's been a while since we've had someone that can do all of that. So she gets pulled around a lot, but she's a competitor, and that's what we need.
Awesome.
Coach, appreciate you. Best of luck rest of the way.
Thank you.
Patty Gasso, head coach, the Oklahoma Sooners, 22 wins in a row, 8 national championships. And Michelle, the first time we've talked about career victory number 1,600 last night, which is incredible. Only 2 coaches have won more games than Coach Gasso at this point. As you take a look at our pitchers today, getting the start in the circle, and we've yet to see a hit thus far.
I know. They've both been really stellar in the circle. Just trying to figure out the strike zone a little bit, but doing a great job of getting their outs when they need them, and that's what it's about, working around those free passes.
Ella Parker will lead things off. First pitch strike. Jaden Hebner dealing so far, and Parker, 1 for 4 last night, was hit by a pitch in the first.
Well, this is where Oklahoma is traditionally very strong. Second time seeing a pitcher through the lineup, understand what they're hunting, what pitches are going to be looking for. But, you know, Coach, she talked about it. She said that, you know, Hebner is tough to barrel up, but she would like to see them be a little bit more aggressive. Remember, this is a team, Oklahoma, 179 walks coming into today's game.
Parker fights it off and flies out to the shortstop on the move, a little pop-up. And Kylie Edwards records the first out.
So what that tells me, with the power, the offensive average that they hit for, as well as the walks, is that they understand the strike zone. They see the ball well out of the pitcher's hand. So just kudos to Hebner, who's got great spin, good velocity.
Gabby Garcia, 15 home runs. OU with 129 home runs coming into the weekend. They've yet to hit one in this series so far.
Yeah, this is a tough park. You know, we talked about it earlier. It's a hard park to get the ball out of. A couple last night looked like they were going to leave, but they stayed in.
Garcia, massive swing and a slow roller. Sierra Daniel.
Hebner doing a good job of mixing speeds. That's an off-speed pitch at about 60 miles an hour, so drops it down from the high 60s, 67, 69 miles an hour, down to 60 miles an hour. Gets Garcia out on front of that, off the end of the bat.
Here's Lexi McDaniel getting the start over at first. Going away for ball 1, the freshman out of St. Joseph, Missouri. Here in the top of the 4th inning, a 1-0 ball game. We've yet to see a hit. The only run that was scored came via sac fly at the bat of Alex Franklin in the first inning, and that came after a couple of walks issued by Alyssa Parker to start us off today. Early start in Baton Rouge, early start tomorrow, and McDaniel in charge to right center. Underneath, ready and waiting is Lassiter, an 8-pitch frame. LSU, a 1-0 lead. What a time to talk to Beth Tarita. She joins us next. 1-0 advantage. Michelle Smith, Roy Philpott. Beth Tarita, the head coach for the Tigers. Coach, it feels like a continuation of our game last night in game 1. How do you close it out and get a win here today?
Yeah, I think we just have to stay the course. You know, I think we're getting really good performances out of our pitching staff, just executing the plan really well. And then I think our offense just has to keep being aggressive. You know, they have to keep swinging, keep hacking, keep trying to execute the plan there as well.
And, Coach, what was the message to the team after a extra inning loss like last night. Very, very hard fought battle last weekend as well against South Carolina. A couple of hard battles. You guys won the series. What's the message to the team coming out of games like this?
I think we just have to keep going. You know, Sandra gave an awesome message last week about resilience. Bryce gave an awesome message today, just about, you know, winning the next pitch, winning one more. Like, there's so many cool things happening with this team, and we're in every ball game. I think there's going to be a moment where they break through and a lot of good things start happening to them. But I think they're in every ball game. They're playing with anybody that takes a field with them. Now we just have to close it out, and let's hope today's the day for that.
Coach, it makes for great television. We appreciate you. Thank you.
We'd rather the other way. I'd rather be kicked up with my feet up in the dugout, you know, sipping my Gatorade. So we're going to go for that. Sorry about your TV ratings.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
That was the mic drop by Beth Torina there at the end.
Exactly.
You're 15 in Baton Rouge, and take a look at their season, Michelle. As you've talked about it, there have been a lot of nail biters.
Yes.
Coming down to the very end.
Well, you look at on paper and you think, wow, you know, the Sooners, their numbers are so much better in LSU. But what you have to look at is the SOS. That's strength of schedule, non-conference strength of schedule. So LSU has played a gauntlet of his schedule so far this year. That's why their numbers are a little bit lower. On the flip side of that, Oklahoma's non-con SOS, or non-conference strength of schedule, has been much weaker. So, you know, some of their statistics look a little bit more elevated. But basically what it tells us is that these are two very good teams battling and squaring up pitch after pitch.
Alex Franklin, leadoff knock into right center. Drove in the only run of the game, and that is the first hit of this game, too, between the Sooners and the Tigers.
Well, does a good job of getting a pitch she can handle. She is on time. So look at the way that that ball is going to bleed a little bit more into the white. She gets the front foot down on time. Great extension, the way she gets that barreled ball and just drives that right through the infield. Franklin, outstanding in that 4 spot for LSU.
Good speed at first base. Franklin, a 3-time state champion in high school. Only had 1 start in 2 games last year. This year it's been a different story. Batting 4th today for head coach Beth Torina. Here's Kylie Edwards. Fly ball straightaway center, minor retreating, and it's gone. Here come the Tigers. Kylie Edwards does it again. 4th home run of the season. And old number 6'7" tells you about it.
Kylie Edwards is having a breakout season for the Tigers. The shortstop gets all into this ball. Take a look at how she's going to barrel this up. It's slightly elevated, and she knows it. On time, great extension again with that bat. LSU putting a charge into the ball, getting that up in the air, and Franklin celebrating as she comes around second, getting to see that leave the park as she's running the bases.
Well, you love the return home,
yes.
The 6'7". There it is. Hence the number. If you don't know what it means, I don't know how to explain it to you.
Well, I don't know how to explain it either.
But it goes back well over a year and a trend somewhere on the TikTok.
I cannot analyze that. It is on the TikTok.
It was a great swing, and more importantly, 2 runs for the home team. And LSU with a statement to start today.
Well,
back-to-back hits and now taking the lead.
Yeah, and both of those hits coming when they are ahead and counts to be able to attack, looking for, I'm dancing too if I'm a Tiger fan. Go girl. 2-0 count for Edwards to get that ball to leave the park.
Change in the circle. We'll tell you about the new pitcher coming up.
A lot of ground balls, good spin speed, but had an absolutely amazing career here for the Tigers during her 3 years.
Native of Buffalo, New York, Baylor High School, and now back in Baton Rouge. You see her numbers on the season for the Sooners. And Beth Torina with a mic drop at the end of our interview saying, I don't care about your TV ratings. And their team, her team is proving it right now, right? Alyssa Parker stays in the game over at third base. And Char Lorenz, the hitter. In the circle, what do you like most about Sydney, Michelle?
I like that she can really move the ball around the zone. She's got good velocity separation as well as vertical separation. But this is an LSU team that knows her. She's thrown a lot of batting practice to some of these women that are still wearing the purple.
Lorenz, a line drive that was grabbed quickly by Kai Minor for out number 1.
This is a young lady that knows her well. Bergeron has spent a lot of years catching Bergeron.
You got Berzon and Bergeron, former teammates forming the LSU Battery, now face to face. I guess we see more of this with all the transfers. A 3-0 ball game. Michelle and I just went through our assortment of hand signals here in the booth. That was fun. It's better than getting booted the last time we were here in Baton Rouge. We won't go down that road again. I apologize for bringing that up. Some parking problems.
Making new memories this series.
Outer edge to even the count.
Sydney, one of those pitchers that can throw to every different zone. She's got a good screwball, curveball combination, drop, rise. And does a little bit of that, 57-mile-an-hour changeup.
Beautiful day. Now officially in the afternoon. Great weather last night. It looks like tomorrow is going to be solid for Game 3. That's a noon Eastern time, 11 a.m. local first pitch. And Berzon records the strikeout.
Berzon pitch a little bit upstairs, but it looks like it's a high drop ball. Does not have rise spin to it. Slightly elevated, but good job by Wells to hold it. Picks up her first strikeout.
Not sure if I was expecting something different there at the end. Crowd certainly was. Here's Destiny Harris. First plate appearance, a walk in the second. 4-game hitting streak, longest for the Tigers coming into this one. Harris to left field on the run, and a running grab made by Abby Dayton. Well, nice play at the track in a shot that had a shot.
Another well-struck ball. Looked like it potentially could leave the yard, but Abby Dayton, great job of reaching up over her shoulder to keep that ball and get the out. You know, you can't just look at the paper and say, oh, well, you know, offensively, Oklahoma potentially could smoke LSU, because you have to look at the numbers, why you're getting what you're getting. Why is LSU's batting average maybe lower than Oklahoma's? It's because of the arms they've been facing, a strength of schedule that's 8th in the country, non-conference 15th in the country. I mean, that just means you're playing quality teams game in and game out. Oklahoma Sooners have played a little bit of a lighter schedule, and you know, this is an Oklahoma team that is extremely young. You know, Patty Gasso, there's a method to everything she does, rightfully so. And part of having a good team at the end of the year is having a very confident team at the beginning and the middle of the year.
Well, having won 22 games in a row, that confidence is not lacking. You could feel that last night. We didn't call the game last night, but watching it, you and I were texting as Minor has a leadoff runner aboard for the Sooners, reaching on the single. Reminder, Oklahoma takes on Texas to finish up their big 3-game series tonight. Texas won the first 2 games of the series on the baseball diamond. And that included a victory in 10 innings yesterday. Coverage begins 5 Eastern, 4 Central, right here on the SEC Network. And the Sooners have something cooking here, trailing 3-0. OU with 11 comeback wins this year. Bayani, the hitter, getting the start at second base again today for head coach Patty Gasso. And a fly ball to left center, played perfectly. Lassiter, glass is on, fields it perfectly. One away.
And a non-productive out. So that's the first hit of the game given up by Heavner. That Kai Minor base hit to lead off the fifth. But getting back to the whole strength of schedule and everything that, we were talking about with the Sooners, this is a team that over the last week, they've played from behind a lot, but they've still come back and won those games against Ole Miss, last night against LSU. This is a program that is in it. If they have one pitch, they are in the game. You can never count out the Sooners.
And that was the point I was getting to just watching last night. It felt like,
absolutely,
on the outside looking in, I think I texted you at one point, high and tight, and Parker was hit by that pitch. Well, the rally officially on now for the Sooners, but the thought was, hey, one run is probably not going to win this, and OU is probably not going to get shut out. By the way, the last time Oklahoma was shut out, 2019 Women's College World Series 1-0 against Alabama 365 games ago. 7 seasons ago.
Yeah. I mean, the numbers, when you really look back historically over this program, the numbers are staggering. The national championships, obviously, the result of all those numbers, the training, the competitiveness, the depth that Patty Gasso, JT Gasso, Jen Rocha, I mean, this is a complete staff that not only do they get great athletes or recruit great athletes, they are able to plug them into their system once they arrive.
Well, they'll pause the action here as Bergeron behind home plate.
So this ball is going to go off of Parker, and then it's going to ricochet down and hit the throwing hand. See, Macy immediately goes down as that ball ricochets off, and then it hits the throwing hand.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've seen that before, where you have one pitch and it gets the ricochet and it ends up going off the throwing hand of the catcher.
Yeah, well, you always want to keep that throwing hand behind your body, but with a runner on, you have a tendency to want to come up because in case they're trying to steal, you're trying to get that pop time. And so just like that, the Sooners in a position with the tying run at the plate.
And the leading hitter for OU this season, batting ninth, Abby Dayton. Miners at second base. Parker is at first. One away, and a healthy cut makes it 0-2.
A healthy cut fouled straight back. And as a pitcher, that's always a warning signal when that ball comes straight back, knowing that that was just missed. Abby Dayton's so good with runners in scoring position, hitting .477 this year.
Remember, just one strikeout this season in 91 plate appearances. Serves softly to center, and a diving attempt comes up short, but they'll get the force out at third. Well, an interesting way to go about that.
Yeah, I'm surprised they actually didn't go to second and then try to get the force out, but that ball pops out of Lassiter's glove. This is a great effort to get to this. It looks like she's going to make a catch just off the shoestrings. It comes in, but a little bit of a bobble. It pops out of the glove. The umpire immediately says it's a no catch, and she comes up. You can see it just goes off the leather, hits the green, but immediately comes up and is going to make the force throw to third.
Just your normal 8-5 in the old scorebook. Runners at first and second. It's Parker now at second base. Dayton at first. For the top of the order, Cassidy Pickering.
And that's going to be considered a single center field for Abby Dayton, continuing her hitting streak.
So the second hit of the game, second inning, or second hit of the inning for the Sooners. And now Pickering high in the air and towards right field. Franklin is there to retire the side. Intriguing way for that inning to come to a close. 3-0 our score. Bottom of the 5th up next.
Oh, that almost left.
Saw its 22-game run in last night against Nebraska.
Yeah, against the freshman Alexis Jensen for Nebraska. Had a great game against UCLA, but yeah, look at those win streaks. Texas at 28 games. Texas A&M almost scratched that last night. What was that, 9-8? Texas A&M led for a lot of that game.
Allie Hutchins will lead things off for the Tigers. Over to Agbayani. One pitch, one away, and that'll bring us back to the top of the Tigers batting order.
Well, that's the thing that Berzon does so well. She rolls a lot of ground balls. She uses that strong Oklahoma defense behind her. There's one pitch outs. Like to say it all the time. They're gifts from the softball gods. You throw one pitch and get an out. Wow.
Lassiter 0-1. Walked and scored in that first inning on the sac fly from Alex Franklin. The other fireworks so far today, Kylie Edwards' 2-run jack. This one slicing away from Ella Parker, and it drops for a hit. Now Lassiter 3 for 4 last night. Now 1 for 2 today with her first knock.
Lassiter is going to get this ball down the line. A little bit of a jam job, insides out. And you can see where Parker's playing. Look at the way she's going to reach up, make it look like, oh, she's going to be able to make the catch, which you usually do when there's runners on base. The ball drops in anyway. So the leadoff Lassiter's on for Sierra Daniel.
Straightaway center field. Minor at the wall and about a step in front of it. Fields it cleanly. No, Daniel gave that one a ride. Not a home run this season, but plenty of pop. And quickly 2 away for space.
Boy, LSU being extremely aggressive against Bergeron here, swinging either first pitch or second pitch that they see.
There have been a number of balls hit in this series last night and today that have felt like they got a chance to exit the ballpark, and it just hasn't happened, even with the assist and the aid of this wind. Nubbed right off the foot and foul.
Well, and to your point, Roy, is like, I honestly, Tiger Park itself is like an additional outfielder out there. It's hard to get the ball out of here. I don't know if it's because of the shape of the stadium, and when you see the wind blowing out, you think, oh, there's going to be a lot of balls that leave the yard. There's just something about it. You see a lot of balls that die right around the warning track.
I mean, there have been 4 off the top of my head today that have done exactly that. Edwards through the left side for a hit. Second hit of the inning, 2 away with runners at first and second.
Tori Edwards on time. You could just see that. And that is the Tori Edwards of last year, where she gets down and on time. A pitch she can handle. It's on the inner half, and she just gets through it. Such great bat speed, dropping that barrel down and bashing that through the 5-6 hole.
Michelle, let's watch Alex Franklin here. She has energized this LSU order, and not only this weekend and in this game too, but this season. It just has an air about her of confidence, and a sweet swing today with an RBI and a run scored. And sac fly, the first run of this game too in the first inning.
No, she's just into every pitch. You can tell by her body language in the box that she is ready to bash every single pitch. She's not guessing. She's seeing that ball out of the hand. She is focused. Her eyes engaged.
Change up on the outside edge. 2-1. This crowd has been engaged, and they have been loud with Oklahoma in town. It's softly, shallow right. Who wants it? And running over from second, Agbayani to record the outs. 5 innings in, LSU a 3-run lead. Edwards with that 2-run shot, providing a couple of insurance runs for the Tigers.
Well, that's what you need. You need those insurance runs, especially with the Sooners now coming up third time through the lineup.
Wells over to Hutchins, fields it cleanly in plenty of time.
Well, and that's the key right there. You said it, Roy. Fields it cleanly. And one of the things that Beth Torina talked about is that we have to make the routine plays.
And there is a new third baseman, Avery Hodge, over at the hot corner. Hodge checked in after Hutchins got the start. And now Ella Parker. Strike one. This is the first inning that Hodge has gotten in. Got the start last night over at third. And Parker a healthy cut that is fouled back. The OU offensively so far in Baton Rouge has been held in check, but was able to secure the 1-run victory last night, 3-2. And welcome to the heart of conference play, too. That's part of this conversation.
Absolutely. This is where you're getting really dialed in for that postseason. Every pitch of every game of every SEC series is meaningful. It's a battle.
I love the analogy that you gave us. Every weekend in the league feels like a super regional, right? That certainly, we were here 2 weeks ago for Texas A&M, felt that way. This weekend it definitely feels like that with a team that's won 22 in a row. Ebner with 2 strikeouts today, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch number 77.
I think the thing that's been impressive for Hebner is the number of infield pop-ups that she's been able to induce. A lot of jam jobs.
Parker went down to get it. Who wants it? And a little communication there over in right center. And it was Franklin that nabbed it in front of Lassiter. That felt dicey for a second.
Absolutely, because you've at times seen outfielders run into each other and they need to be talking, and that looks like that's almost a ball that could end up pop out of the glove. You got to keep calling that. And also, it's not just the verbal, because in a loud environment, you got to use your arms, because a lot of times that'll catch the eye of your teammate. So you've got to be, waving those arms, ball, ball, ball. And typically you would say the center fielder has the precedence to be able to call off the corner fielders. But at this point, I'm sure the LSU dugout is just glad it fell on somebody's glove and not on the green.
Truthfully, Michelle, I couldn't tell who grabbed it initially.
Yeah.
I thought it was Franklin. Then I was like, wait a second, maybe it was Lassiter. And it was Alex Franklin. The shift is in play again with Gabby Garcia.
And this is an interesting part, because look at the shift here. So they're way over. And what Garcia is going to see is really all of this. She's got the ability to go into that gap as a lefty. So obviously LSU knows something, and they know how they're going to pitch her more on the outer half. So Garcia trying to get around the ball and use that massive right field that really only has Franklin in it, with Lassiter pulled well over to that left center gap.
Big moment here, it feels like. 2 outs, bases empty, the 1-2. Garcia stays alive. Strike 3 and the punch out. Hebner loves it.
Jaden Hebner with the passion, the excitement, hammering this outer half with the curveball. Garcia, one of the best hitters in the game, sees a curveball in the outer half. A big strikeout for Hebner.
center field.
Yeah, Edwards has just been coming on hot as of late, hitting in that 5-hole. Just so important, really, protecting Edwards, Tori Edwards, that is, and Franklin hitting ahead of her.
Pride of Shelbyville High School in Indiana, her second hit of the game.
First pitch swinging, coming out. Just understanding again what she's hunting. This LSU team looks like they're on a mission. This is the best I've seen them swing their bats this year. You know, up in the box, expecting and trying to take that drop, that lower pitch away from Berzon.
Berzon, of course, the two-time All-American, began her career at LSU. Char Lorenz, the hitter. Edwards aboard at first base with plenty of speed. And the wheels are turning here in the bottom of the 6th inning for both teams. Lorenz 0 for 2. And Michelle, a lot on the line when you look ahead towards the top of the 7th inning. Number 1, OU and its 22-game winning streak. Number 2, the Sooners haven't been shut out in a long time.
Long time.
Give me back to June of 2019. Now, I'm no mathematician. That is 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
366 games ago. And on top of that, OU with just 1 hit today because they did make a scoring change on what we thought was a knock by Abby Dayton at the end of the 5th inning. They changed it to an 8-5 fielder's choice in that weird play on the force out at third. In the meantime, LSU would love to add another run or 2 to feel a little more confident about ending that winning streak.
I mean, when we talked about this in the open at the top of this game, that this is a Sooner club that averages over 12 runs a game. They usually give up less than 2.5 runs a game as a pitching staff. So LSU has done a good job on both sides of the ball, but I think specifically, especially how they have limited damage. I mean, to be talking about a shutout last night and to be able to still carry that conversation here in game 2 on consecutive games is impressive, is what Beth Torina and this pitching staff, this LSU pitching staff, have done.
I'll go back to our in-game conversation with Coach Torina. 15th season in Baton Rouge, and now a full count to Lorenz. I said, Coach, it makes for great TV, all the games that you played this year. I don't care anything about your television ratings. I want to kick my feet up and feel good about it. I don't know that that'll quite be the case.
I don't think anybody does that against Oklahoma.
Right.
No matter what the score. It could be 20-0 advantage you over the Sooners, and you still would not feel confident.
You're a bit nervous.
You know, this is why we play the game. This is why we're softball fans. It's because of games like this. It's so good for the sport.
Payoff again, hammered foul.
And you know, the other thing too is that JT Gasso mentioned, he's like, our team is ready to be challenged. We are ready for this SEC season, and that's what you want every coach to be saying about their team, is that we are ready to really do battle, because we know that's what it's going to take to get to the Women's College World Series and to win a national championship.
And Lorenz out in front, the strikeout for Berzon.
Berzon, really good changeup pitch, is going to work this outer half, and it's not just the change of speed. Look at the movement on this pitch, the depth of the fall, so it starts above the knee and just drops down toward the dirt. Outstanding pitch.
Berzon v. Bajeron here. Former teammates forming the LSU battery. Macy's 0 for 2. Senior in Rain, Louisiana, Notre Dame High School. Hot shot to third, and the double play. Well, Parker, the nifty glove work to double off Edwards, and we head to the top of the 7th.
No, Parker perfectly positioned, is going to be able to get this line drive off of Bergeron's bat, and then the throw over to get Edwards at first. That's the 14th double play of the year for the Sooners.
sun splashing down, and the home team 3 outs away from ending the second longest winning streak in the country. Not to mention the idea of a potential shutout. Now, we may be getting way ahead of ourselves with a graphic like that, but Shane Huebner has been lights out in the circle for LSU. Michelle Smith, Roy Philpott here in Baton Rouge, and she's been the story with her ability to keep OU in the ballpark despite the fact the wind has been gusting out towards right center field. Michelle. Lexi McDaniel popped up again. Right side of the infield.
Well,
Daniel is there.
And to your point, Roy, she's done a good job of controlling the strike zone. She had a little bit of control issues early on, a hit batter and a walk in the first inning, and then scattered another walk and a hit batter throughout the game. But she's limited the base hits, just 1 hit, and it was by Kai Miner, who bashed the ball right back up the middle past her. But you know, she's been outstanding, really good spin. And that a couple of pitches that do come right down the wide of the plate, the Sooners have not taken advantage of those misses.
Miner with the knock in the 5th inning. Quickly behind 0-2.
She's done a good job of varying her velocity and still throwing hard up near 69, 70 miles an hour.
Huebner delivers. And an eye-high swing. We'll do it again at 0-2.
Well, this is where ahead in the count, try to expand the zone, not give Miner anything too close. Miner is very good at smacking that ball right back up the middle.
Efficient start for Huebner. Only 89 pitches, 2 outs away. Going the distance. Miner with 2 hits in the series, 1 today that we already told you about, 1 last night in game 1. Make it 2 today, and with 1 away. Miner now standing at first base, and here comes OU.
Miner wins that lefty-lefty matchup with a pitch that's elevated and just pokes it the opposite way.
Like Bayani, 0 for 2. 2 hits last night in game 1. Sooners rallied late in that one to steal it 3-2. Trying to do the same thing today. Like Bayani, the BYU transfer. Bunts it down. Hodge at third, and the throw is wide. Racing towards third, and now coming home. No throw, and it's 3-1.
Well, this is where the Sooners are so good. They just apply pressure, and they do it late in the games. They induce those mistakes, and so this is a play, a routine play that needs to be able to be made. It's the bunt that goes down. Hodge is going to pick that up, and the throw just offline. Daniels can't get to that. With the speed of Miner, she's going to circle the bases and get the Sooners on the board.
Miner never hesitated to make it a 3-1 game. That shutout streak remains intact. More importantly, bring the tying run to the plate with the runner in scoring position, just 1 away, and now Tigers want to talk about it. No, you knew it wouldn't be easy, and it isn't.
It's never easy. If you're going to beat this Oklahoma team, you have to be clean all the way around, and so that defensive mistake opens the door here. And when you look at an offense like Oklahoma, if you give them extra bases, extra opportunities, and extra outs, they typically put runs up on the board.
E5 results in the first run of the game for Oklahoma. And Alyssa Parker, who got the start in the circle, now has been over at third base. with a rip that goes foul, and Parker today has reached twice. That went right off the mask of Vince Price.
With his umpire teammate coming down, checking on him, making sure he's okay. Rise ball, half swing by Parker. Pitch up at the top of the zone.
Also with 10 home runs this season, but behind in the count, 0-2. And the strikeout for Hebner. Her fourth of the game.
Fourth strikeout of the game on the rise ball. She does a great job of getting underneath this pitch. Parker approached at the pitch prior, rise ball. This one a full swing through it, just cannot catch up to this great movement at the top of the zone. A little bit elevated, and Parker chases it out of the zone.
Sooners have won 22 games in a row, trailing only Texas. Horns have won 28 straight. And all that on the line with Abby Dayton, the Oklahoma hitter.
Dayton talked about that 500 batting average in that 9-hole, trying to turn things over. It'll be interesting to see what she does here. With LSU, they're going to have to play up a little bit to make sure that Dayton does not try to drop a bunt down.
Bayani still at second. Dayton fouls away the first pitch from Jaden Hebner. What a start it has been. 0-0 in the circle. Dayton today 0 for 2. Remember that hit was changed to a fielder's choice. Her last plate appearance. Sooners in full rally mode. No sign of nerves there. To the backstop and advancing to third without a throw is Bayani.
Rise ball that just got away from Hebner.
16th wild pitch of the year for Jaden. And a strike away. Crowd will tell the story here. Dayton has one strikeout all season. Tapped over to third. And the winning streak is over. LSU gets it done. 3-1 the final score. Oklahoma had won 22 in a row before today.
Just an amazing game for LSU, and for Oklahoma. Continues to battle into that top of the 7th inning, putting a run up on the board. With the Tigers, check that out. First win over Oklahoma since 2015.
Big time victory for the Tigers. And Kylie Edwards with those 2 runs produced on the long ball to straightaway center proved to be the difference in this one. Nail biter yesterday in game 1, 3-2, and again here today in game 2, but the Tigers find a way to survive a frantic 7th inning.
Okay.
Well, the last time we were here, we were talking about how can LSU find a way to generate the offense. Today they found it with a big bat of Kylie Edwards, who joins us right now. And Kylie, appreciate your time today. Take us back to the 4th inning and what you saw in that critical AB in this game.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. I was just looking for